I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting of the Committee of the Whole for September 18, 2025 to order. And as I do, I might also just mention to everyone that we send our heartfelt condolences out to Travis Martin and his family and the loss of his father-in-law and so his wife as well. And so I'm going to ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Smith, Councilmember Stallings, Councilmember Marsh,
Here.
Councilmember Crabtree, Councilmember Craig, here, Councilmember Martin, Councilmember Sumner, Councilmember Meek, Councilmember Bogard, Councilmember Velez,
Here.
Councilmember Bell,
Here.
Councilmember Drought.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. Would you all stand with us for the Pledge of Allegiance? Let's pledge together. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving through the items of business, we're moving on to item number 4, the approval of minutes, and 4A is the August 21, 2025 regular meeting.
Second.
A second from Amy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. Thank you. We'll move ahead then to item number 5, administrative matters. First item on the order is the Hopkinsville Christian County Public Library update, and we have Tiffany Luna to come. No action is anticipated, but I thought since this was sitting at my desk, I might go ahead and give you advertisement about your grand reopening that's coming, which I guess you'll tell us all about.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Good evening, everybody. As you know, the library has been going through a renovation. We had some ups and downs, but we're finally ready to open our second floor. During our grand reopening will be on September 25th from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. At that time, you'll see there's a brand new teen room, a revamped children and juvenile area. Our meeting rooms have been redone, as well as some ADA compliancy updates, like our elevator. If any of you have ever been in it, it was small and a little claustrophobic, and you couldn't really get a wheelchair in or a stroller with more than one person at the same time. So that's a big change for us. And we hope that we will see you all there. We'll be giving little tours during that time as well. The staff and some of our board members will be available to talk through the renovation and let you guys know more about the updates. Also, on September 27th, we are having our Renaissance Fair, and that will be from 12 to 6 o'clock that Saturday. We will have fencing demonstrations. There will be vendors. There will also be some Kentucky Shakespeare actors that day as well. So if that's something that you are interested in or curious about, I encourage you to come and visit us that Saturday. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Questions?
Okay, then that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Tiffany, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. All right, under administrative matters, item B is the quarterly Public Works Department report. We have Mr. Josh Durham coming to present that report.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, thank you.
I'm Joshua Durham, your street division superintendent for the Public Works. My quarterly report, just kind of day-to-day stuff. Numerous potholes and street failures were repaired, utilizing over 7 tons of coal patch. Working together with utility companies to address old utility cuts that may be failing. HES, HWA, Atmos, they all do a good job. This year's paving is underway. Excuse me. About 70% done. Empty trash, do a trash route 3 times a week. Cleaned up litter throughout the city. cut back overgrowths, city alleys, right-of-ways, intersections, clean storm grates throughout the city. Completed 28 drainage projects, or 20, excuse me. And those are said drainage projects. Abated 195 properties and made, replaced, or repaired 84 signs. Did 55 decorative signs for our IGSA, 114 handicap symbols painted, over 135,000 feet of white paint without glass for parking lots, 117,000 linear paint with glass for roadways, and over 301 linear yellow paint for roadways. Any questions? I'm not real good at this, so.
So as far as the potholes
Uh-huh.
that you all have been working on, do you have an estimate of how much of that has been done was caused by some of the flooding that we had earlier in the year?
Numerous. I mean, probably, I'd probably say 20, 30%.
What's due to flooded
Yeah,
areas?
As soon as we fill them, it flood, they pop open again.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to move on to administrative matters to item C, the tax liability on net profits. Committee recommendation was chaired by Michael Velez. So Mr. Velez and our finance director, Ms. Clayton, are coming.
No, you go. No. Huh? Oh, you want me to present? Yeah. Oh, okay. In your packet, you see that the committee met and they came back with a recommendation to lower the tax rate. During our meetings, there were lots of discussions about the current law, the way that it is, whether or not a cap should be put back on, what the tax rate was, and all of that. So the committee did come back with a recommendation to lower the rate. They did not come back with a recommendation to put a cap back on. So I don't know what else you want to add about the meetings, and you want to add anything? So that was their recommendation. I'll just share with you guys my opinion. It's a terrible time for the city to consider lowering the tax rate with the economy and the way things are. Also, it would negatively affect our bond rating. Anytime that a city chooses to lower a tax rate or give up revenue, it affects our rate. It would affect our bond rating. So I personally do not believe that this is the time for us to consider lowering the tax rate. But I'd be happy to answer any questions. I know Councilmember Velez would also be willing to answer any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Clayton?
Not for Ms. Clayton, but for Doug. What are our options since this is a report? We can do what?
Well, that's just what it is. It's a report, so you're not bound to act on it, but you certainly can. You can refer to council in the form of a motion to take certain action. You can put it on the business list for future committee of the whole discussion, or you can take no action.
Make a motion, submit it to council.
So you're making a motion to forward this recommendation of this committee on to the city council. Is
Yes,
a
sir.
motion on the floor? Is there a second? With no second, we cannot proceed, and that would basically mean that the tax rate would stay the same?
Well, that motion dies for lack of a second. So it's always something that can be brought up at a future date, and can be added to the business list.
I see. Okay.
Now, I have a question. I'm a little confused, so bear with me. Does the chair get to vote?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously, we get presented with city side, we can't afford to do it. I'm good with it. We put a committee together, and our own committee comes back with a recommendation, and they're on two different pages. It's just very confusing. I don't know that I've seen that before. And this is such a hot topic in the community, I kind of understand. But I'm a little confused how we came to a recommendation to lower it, and that today we changed our mind. There's no new information been presented to us here. So you all had to have known the information in the meeting that brought this recommendation about. But it's just interesting to me.
Fine, I'll let you comment just because I'm
Probably because I
respecting
can.
your
Thank
seat.
you.
But the bottom line is, Mr. Willen is not the chair of the meeting, I am.
I was talking to you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So-
you can vote.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So I was giving everyone else an opportunity to do it. Mr. Willen said it dies for a lack of a second, but it doesn't die because I give it a second.
Oh, okay, good. That was the confusing part I was having.
Yeah.
Because moments ago, I was told that one of you were going to and one of you weren't, so I was confused. So my point is at least stand on your principles, either side you stand on.
Well, I don't know who mentioned that to you, but it's not information I think that I would recommend that you stand on from now on. But at any rate, the bottom line is I make a second to the motion.
And I'd like to also, I got another question before we vote, because we got to vote, right? Mayor?
Yep.
I told you in the meeting we had that if this came to this, I was going to call you out in public and you're going to pick a side on this. You're not going to skirt the fences. This is home for me like it is you. I've heard all sides of it. You've told everybody in here one thing and everybody on the other side the other. What is your recommendation as the mayor of this city, what needs to happen with this vote tonight?
This recommendation from May, we need to do something. We cannot do the 1.1 right now, the way our books are showing. I'll tell you right now, the way our books look, no, we cannot. You know, we right now, if we do this, it'd be 1.6. Y'all done took 400,000 out, so we'll be pushing right at $200,000 out of a $56 million budget already. And we're already down on the business license tax already. And if they come in and do like it will be, because they give them to November to do the tax on that. And then when people turn around and go and ask for another extension for 3 more months, it's going to be hard for us to handle on money wise. I can tell you right now, as a business owner, I'd say yes. But as a man looking at the books, I have to say no.
Thank you, sir.
He means it would be a $2 million hit to our budget. If you do this, it would cost the city $1.6 million.
Thank you.
So is that, I'm sorry,
Excuse me just one second. We have a motion and a second. You have a comment?
I have a question.
Yes.
So is the 1.6, is that what you budgeted? Or explain what the 1.6 is.
Yeah, so we did budget for the tax rate to be at 1.5% this year. If you lower the rate to 1.1%, it would cost the city $1.6 million in tax revenue. Currently, the majority of that would be split between the two funds as given by municipal order. Half of it would go, most of that money is over the $10,000 cap, which there's a municipal order that requires us to move half of that money to the future fire station fund and half of that money to the economic development fund. So, but it is in the budget as revenue at $1.6 million with the 2 transfers are also in the budget.
Next question. If this ends up passing, how are you going to make up for the additional money? This, for the lack of revenue, the missing revenue, how you gonna make up for it?
There is no making up for losing the revenue.
So either you cut cost or you take it out of savings,
Right.
okay? What is the plan? If this passes, what's the plan?
Councilmember, I just signed the documents to hire, I believe, 12 or 14 new firefighters for a new firehouse you guys voted to build. So from Melissa and my point of view, this discussion is coming after a major capital expenditure when it should have come before.
I don't disagree, Troy.
So I don't know. We'll make it work. But it's gonna be massive cuts. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We just hired a bunch of new firefighters that are gonna be on our books till their retirement. I don't know how we're gonna pay for this. This is a discussion we should have had a year or two ago.
I'm not the one who put it back up here.
At the finish.
That's all I got.
Okay, I got you. Well, when that committee was meeting, we received several financial suggestions from Ms. Clayton about the amount of money that would actually take for the city to be able to afford a tax break on the tax liability on net profits. And we saw several different numbers. You know, you had members from the community and the business community in those meetings, and then we had you in those meetings. And it was my personal opinion, I'm just making a comment now from the chair, it was my personal opinion that tax liability being raised on those businesses placed on them an onerous burden that they were not ready for, obviously. And so if we do nothing tonight, it continues to place that burden on those businesses. Everything will kind of just stay the way it is. Am I wrong?
I think you are.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because if you looked at the net profit tax, how it used to be, okay? If you made, the graph that I did, if you made $10,000 profit, you paid the full amount. If you made 100 million, you paid like 0.002. So you didn't really pay your fair share percentage-wise for many years. What this did, we did two things because I was on the committee that made the initial recommendation. It did two things. It provided money for the industrial park that we were going to develop, and there was lots of promises made that have not happened. And the second part of that, and I think it was the reason that the committee could get behind it, it made the tax rate percentage fair across the board. Everybody paid the same percentage. So, and that's been going on however long we've had this tax in place.
Okay, but it would not remove the cap.
At that time, there was a cap. That's the reason
Yeah.
it was so unbalanced.
Right.
When we took the cap off, it made it fair across the board.
So this would not replace the cap.
Not arguing with the cap. I'm just telling you how it was done.
Okay. My point, I guess, is that we have some businesses. We got two things. We got businesses that we want to, that I feel like, and I think Mr. Velez felt the same way in the committee. Many people felt the same way, that we wanted to help relieve the burden that was on those businesses. At the same time, we've got things that the city has to do. We can't just not do, perform the services of the city. And so somehow there had to be a balance there. 1.1 was mentioned in a meeting, and it was kind of voted on around that table. I did not vote for the one-on-one in the committee meeting because Ms. Clayton had already presented the fact that the city can't meet its current obligations at 1.1. So there has to be some middle ground somewhere that the city can get to so that we can relieve some of the burden from those businesses and still meet the needs of the city in paying its bills. whether that's 1.2, 1.3, whatever it happens, I don't even know. Ms. Clayton gave some numbers, and I think we saw that the city's bills could be paid at 1.3% or 1.35%. There was enough money to do that. That's less than 1.5%. It's some kind of a break for those businesses, you know. So that's my comment. I would vote for this to move on to the city council so that we can vote on it. We're not voting on the percentage of the tax rate tonight. We're just voting to send it on to the city council to do it. But if it doesn't receive enough votes, it'll just stay right here. It'll die. We'll have to do something else with it. Yes, ma'am.
I don't think that's what we're voting on. I think we're voting on this percentage because that's what was recommended by the committee. Am I right? So when we vote, we're voting whether or not to lower it to 1.1, but it is going to city council, and then it would still need 2 readings.
That's exactly right. But at that time, it can be discussed what kind of a percentage we would be talking about. But if it doesn't go from here, it's just going to sit here until some further action takes place later on. So I think the city council should have the opportunity to grapple with this issue and deal responsibly with the income that the city needs to pay our bills. So that's 2 comments I made. I'm sorry. We have a motion. We have a second. Any other comments? A yes on this means you want to pass this recommendation on to the city council. A no vote means that you do not want to pass this recommendation on to the city council. Ask clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Velez,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell,
No.
Councilmember Droud,
No.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
No.
Councilmember Craig,
No.
Councilmember Sumner. That motion does not pass.
All right, so it passes for a lack of a positive motion. We're going to move on to administrative matters, 5D, the monthly agency board council appointee reports. Unfortunately, Ms. Bogart is not here tonight, so I guess she'll just get moved on to the next meeting. And so we'll move on to item number 6, unfinished business. Seeing I see that there is none, I might just ask if anyone has anything else they'd like to discuss. If not, then we're going to move on to item 7, new business. First of all is KIA assistance agreement and sewer rehabilitations. We have Derek Watson and Trey Pollock to come. Thank you all for being here. And by the way, congratulations on your retirement. I'm just a little bit jealous.
Thank you, Councilman Marsh. Good evening, members of council, distinguished guests. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight to talk about SRF Phase 9 sewer rehabilitation projects. Each year, we submit several water and sewer projects to the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority in order to have our projects funded through either a low-interest loan or a grant. Typically, these loans are for a 20-year amortization period at between 1% to 2% interest rate. It's not free money, but it's the closest thing we can get to it. The application process is competitive, so if we pass on the funding, it's simply offered to someone else. Each year, KIA ranks and scores our projects, and I'm pleased to inform you for 2026, SRF Phase 9 ranked number 3 out of 160 projects in the entire state of Kentucky. It's also important to note that only the top 18 projects were invited to submit applications. As a result of our invitation, you have in your packet a draft municipal order which was approved by the HWEA Board of Commissioners, which will authorize us to apply for the loan. And please note, this is only to apply for the loan. If KIA approves our application, we must come back to you in order to accept the loan. I'm joined tonight by our Chief Operating Officer, Melissa Seller-Spur, our Director of Water, Daniel Lancaster, and our Director of Engineering and Construction, Trey Pollock. And Trey will present you our projects for your view. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Trey Pollock. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you for your time. And as Derek mentioned, I would like to just go through a more detailed look at our projects for the current SRF 9 project profile package that we have submitted. Just as an overview, HWA is currently the 7th largest municipal sewer utility in the state of Kentucky. We have over 17,000 sewer customer accounts, which equates to a population of about 42,000 people that we serve. We do have 343 miles of sewer mains, which to visualize that, that's from here to Birmingham, Alabama, if you were to take them all end on end and stretch that over the span of that distance. Then I would like to note, just to mention, that we do have 3 Class 4 wastewater system operators, 7 Class 1, 2, or 3 wastewater treatment plant operators, 7 Class 3 wastewater collection system operators, and 1 Class 1 wastewater system operator. These are the people that are treating the sewage from our community. We think we know that they are a valuable asset to our team and to our community. They're trained, they have valuable experience to do what they do, and we're very appreciative for the work that they do. As a general overview of the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority State Revolving Fund, SRF loan program, KIA has multiple loan programs they offer, 2 of which being applicable to HWA. One being the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, which is Fund A. This is applicable to sewer jobs. And then the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, Fund F. And then again, as Derek mentioned, some of the loan program benefits, they offer very low interest loans ranging from 1% to 2% on interest. Loan forgiveness is offered in some instances, applicably specific to this project that we're talking about this evening. And then the loan repayment period being 20 years, in some cases 30 if applicable, specifically for larger projects. As an overview for the timeline of SRF 9 KA loan 826003S, on July 31st, 2025, HWA was invited to apply for Clean Water State Revolving Fund funding in the amount of $7,044,050. And the current draft intended use plan, which we expect to receive final in the coming months, it does say that there would be a $1.6 million loan forgiveness offered in this instance to HWA. On August 13th, 2025, HWA accepted the invitation to apply for the funding. On August 28, 2025, HWA board issued a resolution to apply for the funding. On September 18th, which is this evening, we are here to present to you all the projects and related to the package. And then on October 7th, we would request that Hopkinsville City Council approve municipal order for HWA to apply for the funding. I'd like to provide you some definitions this evening for some terms that we use in our day-to-day that are applicable to what we're going to be talking about tonight. A sanitary sewer evaluation study, which is an SSES. This is a study that incorporates a range of work, including flow monitoring, video inspection, and smoke testing to assess our system. This is typically where we go in and assess our sewer basins to determine the existing conditions, how they're treating the sewer, and how we can rehab or maintenance them if needed. Sanitary sewer overflow, which is an SSO, is a condition in which untreated sanitary sewage is discharged into the environment. This typically occurs in manholes. And this when it's caused by a rainfall event, we know that as a wet weather overflow. I do have some pictures of this later in the presentation to show you. Inflow and infiltration is when groundwater enters our sanitary sewer systems. Our sewer systems are designed to treat sewage, not groundwater. So when we see the inflow and infiltration, that does affect our sewer system in a way that affects our capacities. Inflow is when water enters sewers from the inappropriate connections, and then infiltration is when groundwater enters from defective or broken pipes. A surcharge is an overload or excessive load that exceeds the maximum capacity of the sewage system. We'd like to note that a system can surcharge without an overflow. However, surcharges do lead to overflows. A manhole is a human access point for the maintenance of sanitary sewers, and then a cleanout is a capped pipe which provides access to a sewer line for cleaning, typically on private residential lines. I have a sewer lateral illustration I would like just to go through and just point out some instances on the sewer. We don't always see these as they're underground, but I would like just to make mention of some situations here. The sewer main on the far left there, up to the property line, that is the portion of the system that is owned and operated by HWEA. And then from there to the house is the private sewer lateral, in this case, which goes to a residence. As you can see in the blue and the red, these are identified points of potential I where water may get into the system. Again, this water that gets into our sewers greatly impacts our sewer capacities and puts our systems at capacity issues. I would like to point out that the HWA team, I believe, does a tremendous job of CCTVing our system and performing rehab and maintenance as needed to maintain our sewers' stability and structures. So throughout this, after our SSESs, we do perform SSESs on our system, as mentioned, where we study our system. How is our system handling the flows that are existent and treating water that's entering our system through inflow and infiltration as well. We take into account life cycles, how our systems are aging as the years pass, and how they operate. And then we rank the project as follows. We do prioritize mission critical infrastructure is our highest priority. We want to always maintain our mission critical infrastructure and be sure that that utility is operating as it should. As if it were to go down, we would not be able to serve our customers as we need to, our community members. Environmental compliance being number 2, we want to always be sure that we're compliant with all environmental regulations. And then number 3 is our programmatic projects. Then we break those out into the following: incidents of property damage being the highest evaluation of projects in this priority. Nuisance sanitary sewer overflows, which are sanitary sewer overflows but do not occur property damage. And then our capacity management operations and maintenance, which is the term CMOM, and our life cycle replacement projects. So for the current project package, SRF Phase 9, our team has gone through and done our project planning and prioritization and put together a list that we've submitted to the state in our project profile. The projects you can see here, we prioritize them into 5 categories, priorities 1 through 5. Priority 1 being pump station rehabs. These are mission critical infrastructure projects to us that have also reached life cycles. Task 1, 2, and 3 being Stone Valley, Foston Chapel, and Michael Avenue. Priority 2 are river crossings, which are sanitary sewer siphons. These projects, again, are identified through our CMOM program, and then as they are compliance projects as well. We have a siphon on East 21st Street and then on our north side pump station. Priority 3 is a Michael Avenue force main relocation and upgrade. Priority 4, Windsor Drive sewer upgrade, and then priority 5 is a Michael Drive sewer upgrade. We do currently estimate the project totals to be $8.5 million. This is our team's estimate of the projects. This could be subject to change once we get into the design and how the projects fall, but this is our best estimate, is what the projects are estimated as currently valued today. Then we'd like to just show a better breakdown visualization of the project we're talking about at hand. Priority 1 being our pump station rehabs. I have a map here to lay out a better idea of where these pump stations are. As you can see in the bottom left is our clean water plant, and the 3 pump stations are identified with callouts in yellow. This project is essentially to upgrade and rehabilitate 3 existing HFA sewage pumping stations to alleviate SSOs and perform life cycle replacements. So these projects are twofold. They are going to perform life cycle replacements and then also alleviate SSOs by increasing capacities as needed, and we'll figure that out. We do estimate the total cost for this portion of the project to be $5 million. I have some pictures here just to show the existing conditions of our stations and how they currently look today. This is our Stone Valley pumping station. You can see the piping there in the bottom left, and then the exterior of the wet well on the top. The design for these projects we will get into in the design piece. Once we get to that, we'll work with the engineers and electrical engineers to determine the full extent of what we're going to be rehabbing, whether it be panels, structures, if the pipes need to be recoated. We will work all that out further in the design process. This is I have pictures here for Foston Chapel pump station, and then the Michael Avenue pump station as well. And I would like to mention these are 3 of our larger pump stations in our system. The Stone Valley pumping station has a capacity of 3,500 gallons per minute, and it sees on average 3.2 million gallons of flow per day. And the Stone Valley pump station was last fully rehabbed in 2004 with some rehab additional work in 2012. Foston Chapel pump station has a capacity of 4,500 GPM, which sees on average about 1.6 million gallons of sewage a day, and it was last rehabbed in 2004 as well. And the Michael Avenue pump station has a capacity of 3,200 GPM, and it sees about 1 million gallons a day, and it was last rehabbed in 2004 as well. Priority number 2 are river crossings. The crossing here pictured is located on East 21st Street in Hopkinsville behind Mid-Connet Springs. This project would be to replace and upgrade the existing sanitary sewer siphon on East 21st Street to reduce CMOM problems and perform life cycle replacements with an estimated cost of $375,000. Task number 5 is a river crossing, which is a siphon behind our north side pumping stations there behind the fairground. This would be to essentially the same thing as the previous project mentioned with an estimated cost of $375,000. Priority number 3 is to relocate and upgrade a force main for Michael Avenue pumping station. This is to relocate and upgrade the existing 18-inch sewer force main to 20-inch and discharge to the existing 24-inch sanitary sewer interceptor. This project would be to alleviate SSOs in the Circle Drive sanitary sewer basin. This project has been is a life cycle project as well, as our team has had to make multiple repairs on this force main throughout the years because of the failing pipe materials in some locations. Priority number 4, task number 7 is the Windsor Drive interceptor sewer main upgrade. This project would be to upgrade 1,700 linear feet of existing 15-inch gravity sewer main to 24-inch to alleviate SSOs in the Windsor Drive sanitary sewer basin. Estimated cost for this project is $1 million. Have a closer up picture here just to give a better idea of where this project would occur. It's located there off Coxmill Drive and extends from the river back to Windsor Drive. This portion of our system is greatly impacted, specifically during wet weather events. As many of y'all may know, we do experience an SSO there on Windsor Drive. I have a picture of a resultant of an SSO occurring and how that impacts the properties located on Windsor Drive. There are 2 property owners specifically that we know of that are unable to use their sewage facilities during these wet weather events because of the capacity issues within our sewer system. So we're looking at upgrading the capacities to better treat this flow and better serve our customers. And then priority 5 is a Michael Drive, Circle Drive interceptor sewer main upgrade. Now, this would be to upgrade 2,500 linear feet of existing 8-inch gravity sewer main to 12-inch to alleviate SSOs in the Circle Drive sanitary sewer basin with an estimated cost of $750,000. Again, have a closer picture here just to give a better idea of where this project would occur. This pump station, our Michael Avenue pump station, is located there at Jerry's Car Wash, and this gravity sewer interceptor would extend back to Circle Drive. We do see the same occurrence in this portion of our sewer system. We do experience SSOs during wet weather events caused by insufficient capacity in the sewers. As you can see here in the picture, this was a picture taken from the April 2025 event. You can see the floodwaters in the back and then how that enters our sewer system and affects, this is an SSO here in the picture. And this one would be to do the same thing, to increase capacity in our system. And then in summary, as we did talk about this evening, priorities 1 through 5, there's the projects listed, and again with a $8.5 million estimated cost. And then some next steps this evening are presenting to Committee of the Whole, and then we do, again, as Derek mentioned previous, have a request for City Council approval of municipal order for HWA to apply for the funding on October 7th, 2025. Thank you all for your time this evening. If anybody has any questions, I'd love to answer.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Pollack?
I just want to say to all of you guys, appreciate what you do. I've worked a lot with Derek on this. We worked together, and especially the Windsor Drive. I know there's a lot of things that need to be done in the community, and I'm glad to see you all are really getting this going and getting it done. Appreciate it.
Any other questions? Yes.
I'd just like to make a motion that we forward this municipal order to council.
Second.
Motion and second by, was it Councilmember Bell? Okay, one quick second. Okay, all right. Just wanted to check if we needed that municipal order actually read. There's a motion and second on the floor. Any discussion about sending in the municipal order on to council? If not, a yes vote means you send it on, a no vote means you don't. Ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Velez,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Drought,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Sumner. That passes.
All right, thanks very much. One quick moment. All right, we're going on to new business item 7B, Rabbit's Nest Incentive Extension Request. Ask Mr. Willen to take the microphone.
On page 39 of your packet is a letter from Rich Maddox. This is a downtown development incentive that you have previously continued. He has run into a couple of problems that have extended his timetable, so he has asked for another 6-month extension. If you decide to allow that, then we need to forward this to council in the form of a municipal order amending the original municipal order.
Okay. Floor is open for a motion.
Second.
Like Mr. Sumner and second by Ms. Craig. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't think we need a roll call to do this. If you're in favor of sending this on to council, simply say yes or aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. Okay, so it passes. All right, and finally, new business item 7C, Phoenix Property Group extension request. Mr. Willen.
This is the same request. This is on the Phoenix Group, a municipal order that was approved in November of '23, downtown development incentives. And Melissa Clayton has additional information regarding the request.
Clayton.
I met with Mr. Francis and Mr. Calhoun a few weeks ago. They are still moving forward with the project at the Forbes Building. So the incentives they received were in November of 2023. They're not quite going to make that deadline, so they're asking for a year extension. I don't think they're going to need a year, probably 6 months would do, but we were going to go ahead and ask for a year extension for them to finish their project and their incentives.
Okay, motion?
Second.
Motion is second. Ms. Craig? Want to issue the extension? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign? Okay. All right, we're going to move on to new business item 7D, the Deepwood Drive speed limit reduction. We'll ask our Public Works Director, Mr. Mike Perry, to come and speak to us.
All right, good evening, everybody. In the last page of your package, you'll see a memo from me. Of course, we've had several requests to reduce the speed limit on Deepwood Drive from 30 miles an hour to 25. We actually went back and looked at our records, and we cannot find any records where the speed limit was actually ever approved to be changed to 30 miles an hour. So normally every residential street in town is at 25 miles an hour. And so I'm making the recommendation to move that back to 25 miles per hour since it never was approved in the first place to put it at 30.
Okay, codify it. Motion?
Motion, second, whatever.
Okay, and Chuck also. You want to pass this along to the council, indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask for discussion. Anybody have any other discussion? Sorry about that. You're opposed to it, say no. All right. Thank you, Mr. Perry. All right. We have an item on our agenda called Other. Any member has any comment they'd like to make right now?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Back when we talked about the four-wheelers, special purpose vehicles,
Yes.
we need to go back and look at this, and we need to make 3 separate ordinances, one for golf carts, one for lawnmowers, scooters, things of that nature. So we need to revisit that. That's all I have.
Okay. Are you asking for it to be sent on to council? You want to make a motion?
I think that's
Yes.
already on the business list.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
And I'm working on that ordinance. The golf cart ordinance is provided per statute, state law, so that one will be separate from the other slow-moving vehicles, which may be a little bit more difficult. We'll need to get the chief's input on that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is discussion I think people around the city have had, what about golf carts, What about the lawnmowers and whatnot? So, all right, good enough. All right, good. Any other comments? Any other comments? Any other business? All right, I'm going to take just a moment again. This is my last chance to make a public announcement about my Ward 3 community forum. Anybody has family members with children, it'll be a fun day for them. We have Cookout with the Cop. The police department will be there to cook hamburgers and hot dogs. The fire department will be there with Touch a Truck. So several of those things kind of happening. Thank you to everyone who helped bring this to pass. And so with that, item number 9 on our agenda is the adjournment. So need a motion. Motion to adjourn, a second. All in favor, aye. Thank you. Call this meeting is closed.